Hey, how you doing, Brent? Happy Wednesday.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Couple of down days on the market, but nothing too nothing too out of the ordinary, right?
Yeah, what's up, Rhodes? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Um, yeah, definitely not something that was like super telegraphed. We didn't get much consolidation before this move came down, but definitely something that we saw as a possibility, right? That we get another higher low and get one more move down in this correction. So I think that's what we're getting right now. This move down just recently, the last few hours, kind of solidifies it for me that I made a post in my Telegram that pretty much if we close below 60K, I think the likelihood, again, based on if you look at any of these other legs down in this correction, in corrections of the past, if we get back down to 60K, there's probably like 80% plus likelihood that we do go back down at least to retest the low 50s again. So I do think if this daily candle today closes again below 60K, I think there's a very high likelihood again that we do revisit those low 50s, possibly a quick spike under it, maybe into the 40s one more time as well. So it's kind of what's up for Loco.
What's up, Bren? Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, man? No,
Yo,
good,
we're
bro.
just talking Bitcoin right now, just the pullback. I can share my screen. Um,
Cool.
Yeah, what a couple of very eventful days we've experienced here with crypto, the markets, and obviously the conflict in the Middle East. Just when you think that we're getting a October month and everything was going to be roses and beautiful, we have this conflict which happens to be you know, so timely. I always think about these things that nothing is a coincidence. For some reason, I think that this was planned somehow. That it happened to be because I was looking at some data. There was a conflict in October 2023, and then we had another one in April and another one in October. So I don't know. You guys think all this was planned and they're trying to play with us or not?
Planned in the sense like around markets to like move markets, or you just in general? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it could be to manipulate markets, but also the fact that these events have happened in very similar time frames in the last 2 to 3 years, I believe. Uh,
For sure.
Particularly in the
Yeah,
Middle East.
I can't speak to like the second part, but I think when there is big events that happen like that, or like events in the world that happen like this, I do think whales and certain people use it as an excuse to like not necessarily manipulate price, but to you know dump a lot or to like cause big price moves up or down.
Hmm.
Whether they did it at the perfect timing to manipulate, like to move markets, I think that happens sometimes, right? I think especially with smaller like data releases and stuff like that, I do believe that very likely again when certain people who especially in the currency markets where a lot of these big banks have big positions in these certain currencies, I do think that they do release certain data things at certain times to cause certain reactions and stuff like that. But as
Yeah,
far as this one, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of implications, obviously, with the when it's war and all that. But I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, you know the the U.S. and a lot of countries make money with wars, right? So everyone is concerned. I mean, us, the regular people are concerned about World War III, but the truth is that a lot of countries are actually, uh, benefiting economically from these wars, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, at the end, I was very excited to see Hong Kong. I've been following the Chinese stock market. I hadn't done it in so long, but ever since they started the money printer, I've been looking at the Hong Kong stock market, and it just like keeps soaring, man. They've allowed them to trade with leverage apparently, and they're easing a ton in the economy. So I'm pretty sure that's why we got such a good traction on meme coins. I think the Chinese Chinese investors and degens we're really putting a ton of capital to work in the crypto space. Do you guys
Yeah.
think that's the case, or is it just a mix of U.S. monetary policies and just the world in general?
No, I think it's a transition to a lot of Chinese people investing in real estate back to investing in stocks. Just the liquidity flows. But are you looking at what's the index for Hong Kong? I have the Hong Kong 50 here and it's just spiking.
Yeah, no. So what I look is at the Hang Seng China index. So I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get to the ticker. Um, but just a bunch of different companies, and not particularly real estate, right? Because real estate, I think what they're trying to do is to stimulate the economy to save real estate. But there's so much leverage in the real estate space in China. I'm not sure they're going to be able to save it. But those are my thoughts. I think they're trying to stimulate non-real estate assets, right? And that's why we're seeing a lot of companies and investors really kind of like pouring capital into the stock market. Obviously, gold all-time highs, like so that's one of the assets that Chinese investors have been focused on as a hedge to their real estate. But yeah, what do you guys think, Bren? Rhodes?
For me, I mean, it's always the same thing. Right? I don't. Uh, to me, I think again, most of the time, price follows narrative. It's really at the end of the day, a lot of people like to attribute certain things going on in the world and why price moved up that week. But at the end of the day, not every single price move needs to have a catalyst. In fact, remember this last few weeks we've been on here. I've been telling you I do think Bitcoin does bottom out here based on just most of the chart and how it's been coiling up for a while, how we've been consolidating for 2 weeks, and that if we do get a move up here, that people likely will try to attribute certain things happening to why it's happening. But again, that bottom kind of came in before this whole Chinese thing happened.
Mhm.
In fact, if you really want to point to one thing that actually had a material effect on the bottom or like moves up is when Michael Saylor bought however much he bought. That actually created the bottom,
Yeah,
uh, or like right around there. So I think that's more what it is. At the end of the day, I think a lot of different narratives do definitely influence the way people behave and invest. But I think at the end of the day, it's just about flows and buy pressure taking over sell pressure at the end of the day. And yeah, so I don't know if it's a whole Chinese thing. I tend to think that this move was already starting to go up before the Chinese stuff happened, but who knows?
yeah,
Maybe it did contribute to it. I'm not an expert on that. So
Yeah, I tend to agree that I think the China move is separate in relation to them stimulating their economy and trying to jumpstart that economy. It was in a really poor spot, and a bunch of money into the economy is going to help. Sure, when you look at the money supply and overall global money supply, that's going to help Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin had a lot of bullish narratives around it to try and push it up, and this whole October kind of sentiment into Q4 was part of it.
yeah,
And we talked about this on Monday, where I think there was this overhang of uh, Middle Eastern conflict that I think was likely to happen, and that was the one of the two instances that would really impact whether or not we saw a legit breakout out of this channel. And unfortunately, it hit us, right as we got close to that breakout, and played into this kind of reversal downward. I think this reversal downward, if we can get out of maybe some of this fear kind of situation, and
mm,
outside of any Japan kind of impact, uh, really I think this is a pullback and bounce kind of launch mode for Bitcoin. So I think this is a pretty good spot entry with a
yeah,
with a hesitation, with a bit of a stop loss in relationship to whether or not there's this conflict kind of escalates any more than it is. But this is kind of a repeat cycle. Sure, it's escalated a bit. They were able to get missiles through. The impact overall, I don't think is as dramatic as it may seem. It's just
yeah.
this repeat cycle kind of thing, and it's putting a little bit of fear in it. But overall, something like this is a great buy the dip opportunity, given the sentiment around Bitcoin in general.
Yeah, no, that's a good thoughts, Rhodes. I think two things that I wanted to talk about. One is leverage, right? I think part of this move, and again, I know there's a ton of easing and monetary policy coming in, like supply for to help us kind of like pump any kind of like risk assets, right? When the Fed reduces interest rates, people are and investors are wondering why do they keep their money in in lower interest lower interest like vehicles, right? And so they go for riskier assets to kind of like get that beta gamma, whatever you want to call it, risk reward. So that's why you see assets like crypto and riskier assets within the stock market, whether it's tech or high growth, continue to pump. But I believe part of this was leverage. I was looking at CoinGlass this morning, and a bunch of the move that we saw from Bitcoin, I think it went to 66, almost 67,000, 66,000, 67,000. Most of that move was actually, a ton of it was actually leverage, right? I think everyone was excited about October and finding the bottom that we kind of like saw last year, 2023. And so there was a ton of leverage, and I think we are almost done, if not very close to be done with liquidations. There was I can't remember the number, if you guys can pull it out from CoinGlass, but there was a bunch of long positions just liquidated in Bitcoin, right? And so that obviously triggers altcoins and other riskier, crypto assets. So that's one, and then the other one is the war. Normally, when you think about war and look at past situations, the day that a conflict happens, right, the bombing or what we saw yesterday, that normally is the red day, and then as things kind of like progress, the risk assets actually tend to do better for some reason. I don't know if you guys remember the when Russia started to invade Ukraine a few years back. We had a couple of very bad days where U.S. equities and a bunch of other assets kind of like tanked, and then you saw oil spike. And then in this case, oil hasn't really spiked a lot. So I don't know if there's like 100% fear of World War III or a bigger conflict, but I think it's going to be actually net positive for stocks. So when it comes to the stock market, I'm not concerned. When it comes to crypto, I will still like to see a little bit more liquidity flowing into, aside from Michael Saylor and BlackRock buying Bitcoin. I haven't really seen other bigger players kind of like getting into the game yet. But obviously, what do you guys think?
You guys see Michael Dell, the guy who was bull posting, obviously from Dell.
Is he Mr. 100? Is it the guy that's just always been buying Bitcoin like in 100
No,
chunks? No?
I don't know about that. Oh, I don't want to say no. I don't know anything about that. But he was
Yeah.
bull posting Bitcoin. That could be the same guy. But Bitcoin. He bull posting Bitcoin a few months ago. Posting this like Cookie Monster meme with the Bitcoin like eating up like Bitcoin, something like
Uh-huh.
that. And then people were speculating, oh, like maybe they bought Bitcoin with on with the balance sheet or whatever, and then your earnings came out for Dell and there's nothing on there. But I think a few days ago, or at least he just filed that he sold 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Just again after a few months ago, bull posting. So would be
Mhm.
interesting. Obviously, I doubt he's going to eat the whole 1.5 bill into Bitcoin. That'd be sick. But even if he put a few hundred mil, that'd be nice.
Right? Yeah,
I'd
no, I
welcome
think
that. And
that's
stuff like
gonna
that too, real quickly, like real stuff like that, like it would be great. The 200 mil would obviously pump the price, but it's more of a narrative thing. I think it would spark a ton of other companies doing the same, and other notable individuals. I think that's going to be another huge narrative that will kick off as Bitcoin probably gets over 100K. Is a lot, especially when it gets these higher numbers. And this time around, BlackRock is like shilling it. I think, and all these other institutions, I think this time we're going to get a lot more either companies and or notable like high figure net worth individuals that will announce, if not, and they probably already have a bunch of them. So during
yeah.
this time, especially.
No, that's super. Just real quick, I was looking at CoinGlass. Close to 300 million in long liquidations over the past 4 days in Bitcoin, and closer to, I'm looking at the data. I think it's just in the last 2 days we had 600 million in long liquidations across all majors, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So there's a significant rinse. I'm not sure. You guys tell me, and Bren, you are the more technical, expert. But what do you look at in Bitcoin in terms of like levels? Because right now we are hovering around that 60,000. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll pull up my screen. Give me a second. Present. Shared screen. Just make sure. Yeah, we're fine. We're good. We're good. All right. So, yeah. So, I mean, you zoom out, weekly chart. I've been telling you for a while, Bitcoin, big corrective channel / consolidation. It is technically a channel because it does have slightly lower lows. I mean, these are kind of barely lower lows, but technically still a corrective channel. Either way, corrective. In nature, been telling you for a while that even since April, at least in my group, and then obviously since we've been doing these calls, that we are in a correction, and then at some time, at least my base case is by the end of 2024, that Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol will have found their bottoms, and shortly after, we'll see new all-time highs, either this year or the beginning of next Q1. And then recently we did get this move down after we were consolidating here. I was telling you, okay, we're going to get another move up, but it's going to be the strength of this move that determines whether we go to all-time highs or we get one more lower high and come back down one more time. So we always saw this as a possibility. This move up was strong at the beginning, but there was some points where it was actually pretty choppy and corrective. It did take a whole month, a whole 20 days to get from 50 to 60. So while it was powerful at some points, it was kind of choppy at some points too. So I'm not surprised that we did top out here one more time. It was very quick though. Last time we did top out since April or since March. We got at least 5 days of consolidation. This time around, I mean this one I guess we had 3 or 4, but same kind of thing here. We only got 2 days of consolidation before coming down here. And then it's moving down heavy. Like I said, if we do close below 60K here, just based on all these other moves and all these other corrections I've seen over time, I'd say about 80% chance that we do revisit this low one more time, at least at 53K. Very likely actually crush those lows and make a new low. Probably between, in the 40s, probably 45 to 50,000, depending on how violent this move gets. But yeah, that's kind of my base case here, guys. I do think this is very, very likely the final corrective low that we will get here. Again, based on all these crazy catalysts staring us in the face. And again, this beautiful corrective chart pattern. I do think this would be 1, 2, 3, technically a third or fourth low in this corrective channel. So I do think it would likely be the last one. And this time, it would be probably the last opportunity to accumulate a lot of these coins that you've been looking to accumulate for a while. And I do think this is, again, it could be scary. I'm not going to say this can be quick. As you've seen here, these last moves, sometimes they last weeks. This last one in June, it took us like a whole month to go down. So I still, my base case still remains, guys. I do think we get that final bottom in this Bitcoin and ETH and Sol correction before the end of the year. And then from there, I expect this actual impulsive move to be very strong and get us back to all-time highs pretty quickly.
Anything to look into, Bren, that we made a higher high compared to the late August high?
Yeah, no, I mean, so people like to talk when technical analysis, like it's a science. A lot of times it's not. It's about odds and probabilities, right? So like a lot of people like to assume like there's like these rules are like come down from God, like there's some commandments, right? A lot of the time when you get a lower high or whatever, like we close back above here and get a higher high technically, that is a higher probability that we're going to go up from here. But again, there's still these 3 other highs. It's not as important as some people might make it out to seem. So yes, the fact that we did close over here did make the probabilities in my eyes that we did go higher, like it upped it at that chance. But again, as we can see here, it really didn't matter that much. It's one piece of data like this. Really, if you're just trading off of one thing alone, you're going to get wrecked. It's about, in trading, a lot of the times, it's about confluence and a few different things, right? Especially with charts. So yeah, I mean, when it did close above here, I was like, okay, that's a good sign. But again, there's still a lot of these other highs that had to clear, which obviously it didn't. So technically,
Yeah.
this is still like a lower high compared to these other ones too.
So you think we hold 60,000 here? We're like fighting with it.
I still think chances at this point, again, if you look at, again, one thing I would be looking for is if we were to bottom out here, which I think is unlikely, is if we were to go sideways for 2 or 3 days, some kind of consolidation chopped out here, along with some type of like probably some good positive catalyst. But again, if you look at all these other moves, after it comes down, 10, 20%, usually that's wraps and you will see another low at some point. But again, guys, it is possible we see a higher low as well. I didn't go over that possibility where, maybe it doesn't go all the way down here. Maybe it goes to 55.
Yeah.
Because again, I think a lot of people will be expecting a move under 50 or even lower. So we'll have to see. I do think between 55 and 40. I know that's a wide range. I think that's where we're going to see that final low.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. Let's talk about Ethereum and Solana because I've been, my thoughts about Ethereum, and I know you and I have a little bit of a different vision for Ethereum long term, but I want to see what you're thinking on Ethereum. I know we lost a significant support level here, but Solana is the one that I've been looking at, especially after breakpoint and everything. Surprised it's like that week. It's currently almost erased most of its move up. I think it's down about almost 15% from the high we saw at the end of September. So, any thoughts on those two?
Yeah, same kind of thing. There is they look a little bit different. Like this is a corrective consolidation, meaning the correction is in the form of a consolidation. But I've been saying in this channel and these calls that we do need to break 160, and that if we do break that, it'll probably accelerate fast. Obviously, we failed to break. We're kind of in this mini consolidation within a bigger consolidation. I think this is probably what's likely to happen as Bitcoin comes down, like I showed you over there, under 60. We'll probably do something like this, kind of like we did back in August, and then bottom out and go back up. Obviously, this is a lot of consolidation. So if something gnarly were to happen, some kind of unemployment spike, something, there's a nuke that goes off, some crazy shit. I could see, Solana breaking this low possibly, and going closer, further down. But I would think that would be with Bitcoin like spiking down hard, like coming down to like 45 really quickly. But generally, I do think Solana will either same as Bitcoin do like a higher low, generally probably around 130 to 115. I think we'll see the bottom on that. But yeah, same thing as Bitcoin. They're going to do the same thing generally.
Very helpful. Any thoughts, Rhodes, Danksy, on Solana?
No, I mean I still have it in the corrective channel since it's the same one since the Bitcoin one since March. I think it's been benefiting more this cycle. I'm kind of looking at ETH as a better risk reward play for the last part of this cycle or the next part of the cycle, especially at this range and especially with this pullback.
But is it mostly based on price action, or what is the actual bull case for Ethereum right now? I just want to hear from both of you guys for Ethereum.
Mostly just because other people or there's more stuff being built on Ethereum, probably looking for longer term holds. Ethereum, I think, is still number one in terms of what people are building, applications, and then RWA stuff also being built on Ethereum in the future.
But is it though? Because I was looking at some data, and really, most of development, at least from apps that people really care about, is happening on Solana. I haven't
But what do
really
you mean really
seen.
care about though? I'll chime in a little bit. Like, I think it's really easy to look at certain metrics like volume over a few months and really like extrapolate like, okay, this is all this volumes on there because of one number. But I think a lot of it is it's like kind of takes a lot of other context out. And a lot of the existing applications like Aave and Maker and all those, which are set up to get a lot of the DeFi stuff, institutional stuff coming in. I'm telling you right now, like for sure, 99%, if not all of it, right now is going to go on Maker and Aave and stuff, which is one on Ethereum, which they view as more, secure. And then it's been around for 4 or 5 years. So I think a lot of it is we're not getting a lot of volume on chain in general right now, even in meme coins and stuff. Like it's still not high compared to past years. If and when we do get that influx of volume in general, and especially institutional capital, I think we're going to start to see the money flow. You just have to look where BlackRock's going, right? BlackRock, again, they're doing all their RWA stuff. They built like on Optimism. They're not part of the Optimism collective, but they built their kind of another L2 on Optimism. I mean, they're doing it all on Ethereum. And unfortunately, like whether we like it or not, those big institutions, they like to follow the big guys like BlackRock. And if and when I do think we get a lot of DeFi activity and stuff, it will be on Ethereum. But then again, Solana's still going to be strong too. It's because of the meme coins and all this other stuff. So I think they're both just going to thrive, honestly. But
Any thoughts, Rhodes?
I mean, I'm looking more on the price action side of things. I think Ethereum has less downside at the moment, at least as long as it holds like the 2150 range. Solana is showing a bit more weakness overall, and yeah, I tend to side with Bren in terms of the longevity and the strength of Ethereum overall. You know, us degens, and when it comes to us and NFTs and then everything else, like yeah, sure. So, Ethereum isn't as active and prominent as it was in its peak craze, but the investment in the overall development on it is still very strong. So it should lead the way, and it's got more upside overall in terms of where it can get to. So both are strong. Both I think are pretty good bets. Downside risk, there's more to Solana given where it got to and where it has been versus where Ethereum is. And I tend to side on the Ethereum side overall in that respect.
yeah, I think the worst case scenario that we get here isn't that we go down to 1,000 or something like that. It's that this next low that we're going to get just leads to another bounce, which leads to another low, and we just kind of stay in this corrective channel for another 6 months to a year or something. I think that's a possibility again if the economy like slows down really quickly here, which would suck. But at the end of the day, it's just waiting. And at the end of the day, us who've been around here for a few years, we've done a shit ton of waiting so far. So
Yeah. And I guess my bear case here is I really, of course, want Ethereum to do well. I mean, at the end of the day, we've been in Ethereum. At least our community is built on Ethereum, and everything we've done is on Ethereum. But when you look at statistics, and Ethereum is a 9-year-old startup, right, or a 9-year-old company. In the last 9 years, aside from a bunch of different DeFi applications that really haven't really gone out of crypto, they haven't really kind of like stayed within the crypto environment. Is there anything else that Ethereum as a company has done in the last 9 years since they found it?
I would say 90% of stuff in crypto outside of Bitcoin has been done on Ethereum, right? Like I understand, I agree. Like there hasn't been a lot of stuff in general that's come out of crypto as far as like general user apps. But I mean, you think of all the big, all the big developments out of crypto from like dexes, all these different stuff, lending. It's not only did it start on ETH, but it's like kind of stayed on ETH, at least the big lending stuff. So I don't know. For me, I tend to follow, whether like it or not, I tend to follow, BlackRock and all what they're doing. I tend to, because those big institutional people, the smaller institutions are just, tend to follow those guys. I'm not gonna say no DeFi is gonna happen on Sol, but I think for a while, and right now during the bear market, it might not show because again, it is all bear meme coins. But when this stuff does start to matter, I think it'll become obvious that Ethereum is where it's at when it comes to that stuff.
I mean, I think another thing that changes the situation is that ETH has always been, before when ETH had no volume, gas was kind of cheap, not like the cheapest, but kind of cheap. When ETH had a lot of volume, it's basically unusable, right? Now we have Base, we have Optimism, we have other L2s now on ETH that can handle that load. Similar in comparative to Sol, right? Sol always has like Helium, that's probably the biggest like product market fit company in crypto right now. But that
I mean,
definitely benefits from the lack of gas or the fees on Sol,
Yeah.
right? So I think a lot of things will be built on the L2s on Ethereum in the future, and that would definitely allow for companies to move forward with their product market fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that my concern on Ethereum is, if you're a non-crypto investor, right, you can already buy Ethereum, right? They have an ETF, right? It's been approved. And if you think about Ethereum as a technology company, which is what it is, right, outside of crypto, as an investor, what is your bull case for Ethereum, and why are non-investors, now that monetary policy is easing, why are they not buying Ethereum, right? If it's a tech company with so much potential, why is no one buying it? And that's kind of
Because
like what I'm concerned about. Yeah, go ahead.
demand for, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I keep doing that, but just demand for crypto in general is just trash right now. Again, it goes back to what I said a second ago with the whole DeFi and all that stuff. It's very easy to like say that something isn't doing well and saying, look, it's doing trash during a bear market when everything's doing bad. I think again, we've been around here for so many years. Like we've talked about conditions and cycles and stuff are so much during these talks, but even veterans like us, we like people who've been around for a while like us, like we still discount conditions and cycles and forget about it. Like it matters. It's like a magnetic force that keeps markets down and demand down. Like I think we should come back in this conversation when everything's thriving and see like which one really has stuff building on it. Because again, no chain is having really any DeFi or anything activity on it right now. But it's easy to say, oh yeah, look at Ethereum's not doing anything during a time where there's no demand in general. So I think this conversation will be more effective like when the whole market's thriving in general, and then we really see like which one
Yeah.
has all the volume and stuff.
No, I think that's a good idea. And look, I wanted to play devil's advocate here, because the truth is,
For sure.
there's good and bad, and in times where, like, look at Sui, right? Because like, if you think about it as a retail mentality, do people really care that a chain is faster than the other or not? Because that's one of the things that we have to kind of like take into account, right? Solana as an L1 is a fairly well developed account in terms of like speed and gas fees and everything. It's fairly cheap, right? So it doesn't really need to do much work. When compared to Ethereum, they have to scale with L2s, and to be honest, that's kind of like one of the issues that Ethereum has had. Now, when you look at Sui, in tokenomics wise, I don't really like it, because it's really like there's a ton of unlocks happening. But on the other hand, you're seeing all this crazy price action happening. The truth is, mostly speculation, right? But why is Sui doing so well, Solana doing fairly well, and Ethereum not? Is it because people are searching for the new token, the one that is shinier, or are there actually underlying things being built in Sui that have investors and VCs excited about the chain? That's one of the things that we kind of like have to look at when you compare the three L1s.
Right. I think it goes back to that point of L1 investing, because that's what it is, right? It's kind of like what you're basically investing in is the network effects of that system, and that comes along with the applications, decentralized applications, products on the different chains, right? Because if you get more people using the apps and the products on the chain, you get more network effects in the chain, and the price goes up, right? That's kind of what the general idea is on betting on L1s. I know Sui and Mistin Labs are actively and pretty aggressively investing into dApps and making them exclusive on Sui. Not sure how that's working, but they're really focused on bringing consumer apps onto their platform exclusively for the next 1 or 2 years. So, and it's the shiniest thing on the block. So if you're going to look into risk reward, right, Sui might be the best risk reward of, I mean, it can't really compare to the top 3 L1s, but the risk reward is definitely higher for Sui here.
Well, I like the team, right? I think that all ex-Meta and ex-Facebook, whatever. But But who do you guys know anyone that uses Sui currently? Because I
Nah.
don't. Right?
Not yet. Yeah.
It's one of those things that look at the price action. Right? It's crazy. And look, to be fair, during a bull market, even if it's like low float, high FDB, actually that tends to be reflexive. Right? Actually, goes even like it pumps harder. But look at the price action. It's like, have we already missed the pump on Sui, or is there still a chance to get in? And who is using this chain? It's one of those things that is like, huh? You kind of like think about it. And it's like, who the hell is using this chain, and why is it doing so well? Right? Aptos is not doing as well, but it should be following Sui's price action. So, just curious.
Yeah, I think it was just like a rotation trade for a lot of people, and I think they had some developments come out and stuff like that that kind of created some hype. But yeah, I think it was just a rotation trade, and it obviously was a way lower market cap, so it didn't take as much money to move it. Another thing I was thinking about right now that I think ETH is set up again. It's not ETH versus Solana for me. It's ETH and Solana. I think they're both going to do fucking great. But I think one thing we didn't really talk about in this conversation is ETH's like tokenomics. It's set up with the how it's like deflationary when activity and demand is up, stuff like that. How it's been distributed through many bear markets. 99, it went down 98% in 2019, 2018, 2019. That kind of stuff I think really matters as well, long term as well. Again, the network effects, which again I forgot to touch on, which is pretty much everything. That's the reason why something like ETH, someone could make a clone of ETH tomorrow, and it's never going to do anything, is because of the network effects and people have built on it over time and all that. So, but that actually leads into something as well. I'll share my screen real quickly.
No, I can switch you up if you're just
Okay,
go back.
perfect.
You're like texting someone and want to show that info.
Oh yeah. I appreciate that. I thought it wasn't up at that time anyway. But am I back? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
So the L2s as a trade. Let's see here. So a lot of the L2 tokens, Optimism and Arbitrum, probably being the best looking one, are looking amazing right now. And a beautiful corrective channel. No consolidation up top beginning in March. I do think this last low here will probably be the final low, just like Bitcoin and ETH. And we will very likely, again, bottom out here. I do think the L2s are very undervalued. If we were to get down here at around $1 billion, I can see a lot of these L2s again, because a bunch of block-based demand that's going to be on Ethereum and its L2s, as well as just bull market coming, that I do think we could easily see this, 10x from here, and definitely 10x from if we got one more low into the 10, 20, 30 billion plus, in the next 6 months to a year. So I think L2 or Optimism probably the best looking one. Arbitrum got hit even harder. Optimism probably held up because of the success of base and the relevancy of a lot of the stuff being built on there. But I do think if we do get another low on Optimism, Arbitrum, ZK Sync, another one. It's a little newer, but I actually like this one as well. It's actually starting to come out already a little bit. It got its washout from its airdrop. I think most of it's washed out now. I think it's good for a run as well. So I have a basket of all three of these. And I think they're very undervalued at their current market caps.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think a couple of L2s. Arbitrum, I was looking at Arbitrum and definitely got beaten up to follow. And then in base, have you been following Airdrome? Because it had a massive pump in the last couple of weeks, which is kind of like the DEX of base. Have you guys been following Airdrome or not?
Yeah, my buddy, I had it until a few days ago, and my buddy was telling me about it on a few apps that are being built on Optimism, and he talked to me about Airdrome. But I mean, what do you want to break it down?
Yeah, so no, a few weeks back when I was in the show, I kind of like mentioned a couple of tokens that I was bullish on, and that was I think 2 weeks ago.
Just said this. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them was actually, I think I mentioned one per chain, right? I think it said
Yeah.
Jupiter for Solana, and then I said airdrop for base. So I mean, my use case was, the token was down like 60 to 70%. Just anytime that we see activity coming to the L2s, airdrop is gonna pump, and just based purely on, they don't really have a lot of competition, right? And it's the number one most trusted kind of like DEX on the chain on base. So that was really purely what I was looking at it. Tokenomics are good, so yeah. I kind of like rode a little bit the uptrend, although I didn't get all of it. And now I'm just thinking, should I hold this trade? Should I sell? It's one of those things that you look at. It's like, hopefully we see some more activity happening in base soon.
Are you
Absolutely.
staking it, or are you just holding the position as spot or something, or whatever perps?
Yeah, just holding the position of spot right now. Airdrop.
Yeah, I used to stake it, and then I don't know, not really big fan of staking. But yeah, it's been doing pretty well, up like 100% from the lows. Yeah, I think it's all based on base volume, correct? In the meme coin market, most likely. The base meme coin market.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no,
What
for
else?
sure. Definitely. Let's see what else is going on. For meme coins.
I mean, if
meme
you're
coins
on
this
that
week.
point, Jupiter is like not performing pretty well compared to
Okay.
Arrow. And Jupiter is like the main um, DEX for Sol.
Yeah, there was something going on with Jupiter lately, but the trade for Jupiter was actually 3 months ago when they were like giving like 60% APY on some platforms. It was something crazy for just holding Jupiter as a kind of like a liquid staking. So I kind of like exited that trade and went to Airdrome, but now I'm kind of like thinking, yeah, I don't know if I want to be in any of those plays, or I should probably just like hold on to majors or some stables, because right now the situation that doesn't really look very healthy just yet. So that was kind of like my train of thought, but I don't know. What are you guys holding? Are you mostly in majors or stables, Bren?
Yeah, I'm always mostly majors and stables, but I'm definitely my biggest chunk of my portfolio, like biggest single chunk of my portfolio, is still the high conviction meme picks that I've been accumulating the last few months. I do think meme coins are still going to be very dominant, but I do think there's going to be so much demand from this coming bull market that this next phase of the bull market, that there's going to be other dominant niches too, namely gaming, AI, and then L2s, like we were talking about a second ago. So my bags are mostly packed for the meme coin stuff. If we do get some lower lows here, I'll definitely add a little bit. But a lot of my last few weeks has been accumulating good gaming stuff. I bought a Neo Tokyo a few days ago. Been in there, kind of exploring in there, staking my Neo Tokyo, earning some of their Bytes token, which I think is actually one of them that probably will do well as well. But yeah, so I mean, I've been accumulating a lot of gaming stuff, AI stuff the past few weeks. But I mean, I think anybody right now, the name of the game is just mostly do not. I would usually the best thing to do right now for the most part is nothing. If we do get Bitcoin coming down here, it comes back down into the 50s and then starts going sideways or slowing down for a bit. I do think it is a good idea to start adding to a lot of those conviction bets, but be very picky. Really, it's just about surviving this time. I would say if you do have a lot of dry powder, don't be afraid to buy some of those high conviction bets. Again, be very picky. Make sure you feel good about it and that it can survive another few months. Because again, historically, the best high risk to reward bets, or just the best bets in general, are from the people who weren't scared to buy during these corrective periods, and during the next run up. So be picky, but I think there's going to be a lot of great opportunities, a lot of final opportunities over the next few months to get in a lot of these already proven coins at crazy discounts.
Yeah. Interesting that you mentioned Neo Tokyo, and I want to hear from Rhodes on the NFT side of things, but I was considering buying some bytes as well. I know that they're building a ton on that, on that ecosystem, and once the gaming, tokens and everything starts to launch in Q4, I think the bytes token will do very well. I don't think there's
Yeah,
a ton of like float right now in the market for that, right?
sure. And
Do
the
you know
bytes,
more
like,
about that? Yeah.
yeah, so the bytes, like the utility behind it is like, obviously staking your Neo Tokyo, you earn bytes, but any of the VC stuff they do in there, they obviously like for their community, Alex and Elio are connected to all the big, and a lot of the big gaming companies actually have the citizens. A few months ago, when gaming was popping, a bunch of the big games and the companies' infrastructure actually bought Neo Tokyo, and they're, the citizens, and they're in there. But anyway, they have deal float for like, VC investments, like early seed investments that, in order for you to get in there, you have to have a certain amount of bytes. And obviously, right now, there isn't a lot of those deals going out because gaming's just kind of quiet right now. But as that heats up, there'll be more and more people in Neo Tokyo, buying those bytes. And I'm sure they're going to offer more incentive behind it. And also, I like that Elio and Alex, they got the same amount of bytes as everybody else. I'm sure they did buy more, but it's not like some scheme where they have 30% of the supply or anything like that. But yeah, I like bytes. We went over Carrot last week.
You want me to pull up your screen, Bren?
Yeah, please. Is it bytes? Bytes. Is it BY? I thought it was BYT. Yes. Yeah, Neo Tokyo. I don't even know if they have like a normal chart on this. Is it really? No, this was no. Is it up the last few days? Damn. Anyway, I'm assuming this chart is accurate. This is bytes/ETH, so it's not in USD. I don't know. No, it's still in USD. Anyway, yeah, it still looks pretty good, pretty corrective. I do think it probably will make it an all-time high with gaming. And I like bytes. I like Carrot. Again, we went over already, coming down a little bit. If we do get another low on Carrot, I think this is a beautiful opportunity. I don't think we're going to get all the way back down here. But I would keep your eye on that. Probably my biggest high conviction bet is Superverse. It's Elio Trades project. They're kind of trying. You should go check out their website. They're trying to become kind of a universal gaming chain / token. I think Portal's trying to do something similar. My bet is on Elio to make it happen. He's been in the space for years and years, been all in on crypto gaming, has all the connections. He's a man of the man of the people versus somebody like Portal. I think my bet's on Elio with Superverse, but either way, I think this is easily going to make new all-time highs next year. And if we get another low, I'll be accumulating this. And I'm trying to think anything else off the top of my head. From my understanding, there's going to be like, from watching Alex videos, other people, there's about 20 plus like really good crypto games that have been in development for years now that are slated to drop this next year. And kind of the way Alex breaks it down, makes a lot of sense that all it would take is one of these games to kind of pop off. Off the Grid, for example, is going to be on PlayStation and Xbox. Right off the bat, all it takes is one of those to blow up for crypto gaming to catch a massive speculative bid for a lot of these coins to go 10, 20, 30, 50x. It doesn't matter if a lot of them are actually going to be games that last 2-3 years. It's just there's going to be so much speculation in the space that people that are kind of making their bets right now, paying attention to the space, there's going to be a lot of money to be made. So,
Yeah, I mean, gaming is like one of the hardest industries to be in. The last viral game that popped off, probably Fortnite. If I had to pick one, I'm not really sure, but
I mean, there's a power and all that, but I mean, it's for sure. I mean, it's very small scope right now, right? It's a few games that are dominating.
Right. I mean, I'm talking like you can like form your own studio and then have like Fortnite probably like a 1,000 to 10,000x return on what they invested, most likely for Epic Games.
And I heard this is a little bit of an off thing, but I heard that they don't even make any money off the game. Like, which is crazy as it sounds, like they get so many downloads from the skins. But I was hearing some like a streamer or something talk about it the other day. I completely forgot who it is. But pretty much they're actually losing a lot of money. Like they pretty much almost lose money on it. But the big thing is that they're showing off Unreal Engine, and that's where they make most of the money off of. Is again people licensing the Unreal Engine. And Fortnite's kind of a way for them to show that off. But yeah, I don't know how that even makes sense because aren't they bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars like a month in skins? People buying skins.
Oh, it's probably just their expansion strategy, right? But
Yeah,
they made the Epic Store, they made the engine
that's
just off
the
of
store.
Fortnite, right? Just off of
Yeah.
releasing the game. So that's the kind of impact and kind of success you need to actually make a name for yourself in gaming.
Yeah. And I think the games are super fleeting, right? Like they're here today, gone tomorrow. But I think a lot of the infrastructure stuff, that's kind of trying to build the platforms and stuff like that, like on Superverse, there's an actual chance for them to be actually pretty good long-term investments. But like anything, I recommend taking profits on the way up. All this shit is going to end up correcting 80, 90, or 50, 60, 70% at some point. So
Yeah. That's the life of crypto. Any meme coins you want to look into right now?
last week, man, there really hasn't been much going. I would say, during times where the majors are crashing, it's super easy to lose money, right? Especially in these meme coins. There's very few that do anything. So I think for the most part, name of the game is accumulating good stuff that you have very high conviction in that will survive the next few months. And besides that, man, I'm not really taking too many trades right now. I'm in something called Pod. That a lot of people I trust and a lot of my friends are in and stuff like that. I have a bag of that, and it does look pretty good chart wise. But now that Bitcoin's coming down, is it going to go up in the super short term? Who knows? But as far as super new plays, that's really all that I'm in, or all that I'd recommend looking at right now. I think the name of the game is just, for the most part, waiting. And see what Bitcoin and the majors show their cards.
Yeah, it did feel like a couple days ago that life in the meme coin space was like kind of heating up again.
Yeah, it's all based on the majors are moving up. Things are moving up strong, and then when you get a 5% move down on a Bitcoin or whatever, things switch around quickly.
Yeah, people
but
get
as far
scared out of their positions, and then there's just no more fun to be had.
Absolutely. Do we want to go over the NFTs? I think what this week was like the lowest volume in NFTs have been in years. But is there anything Rhodes wants to? Any developments this week at all? Anything in NFTs?
Actually,
Yeah, I can pull up Magic Eden and have Rhodes speak over it.
Yeah. Or he can pull up his screen or whatever.
I don't
Works
have
for.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to share in the office here, but surprisingly, the previous week was one of the ones that was really down. We are back up and seeing volumes that are higher here over the last handful of days. So
Nice.
we bounced out of that really lull period. A little bit of pullback on some of the major projects. Nothing too crazy. I mean, some of that pullback is in relation to crypto in a bit of a rally up until obviously the last couple of days. Bitcoin actually, however, up about 700 or so while we've been talking here. So a bit of a rally bounce here, but overall, NFTs have been fairly stable. We pulled out of that long period of consolidation, seemed to have kind of washed that sentiment, and so overall projects I think are sitting pretty good. In the last week, nothing too crazy. The ones that had rallied the most have seen a bit of a say 10% pullback. And for the most part with NFTs, more so than what we see in Bitcoin, et cetera, is you get those sharp spikes up and then a drawdown, sharp spike up and then a drawdown, right? So what you're looking at here is probably a bit of drawdown, especially with the period of uncertainty that we're kind of in. So I would still look out for the major projects as kind of the ones you're pinning on right now. Much like what you're looking at for meme coins and crypto is just kind of finding your spot in kind of established safe assets as being the key elements. Seen some really good movement on the art side of things and overall, so that's also a pretty positive underlying sentiment for NFTs. But yeah, other than that, actually, we do have, like, I'm looking at Magic Eden here. We do have some rally overall. So, when we're looking at it the last couple days, we're down, but today's actually a bit green. Of course, again, crypto's down, so NFTs will reprice. So you get this kind of back and forth battle with it as it kind of validates to the kind of the USD expectation. I think you had Miladies up here recently. They've been on a bit of a nice rebound up and since the last little while. They had really lost a lot of range, so good to see that with Miladies. They're at at 2.83. I think they're at a pretty good value considering where they were not long ago, and they're one of the bigger losers over the last handful of range. But meme coin meta, et cetera, like that's going to continue on, and I think ladies are well positioned in that respect. So
You think
Yeah.
Miladies will rise? I mean, it's all meme coin stuff, right? From Miladies, if we're gonna be honest.
I mean,
know.
it
I
wasn't
don't-
long
I-
ago when we were talking about Miladies possibly flipping apes, right? Wasn't that the crazy talk we had when Miladies were,
Yeah, there's a
pushing-
poly market bet on it, but
Yeah, where they're pushing that 6 ETH range.
I don't know.
mean,
I don't think it's just an only meme coin thing. I think if meme coins like kind of died down tomorrow and gaming became the thing or fucking whatever, like I feel like Miladies are just like
they're
crypto
gonna find their
culture.
niche, right? Yeah.
The crypto culture, people like just like the whole
Mm-hmm.
trolly, like whatever it is. You want to call it like culture. So I don't know if it's just a meme coin thing. I think Miladies were hot, like even kind of before meme coins were like, even kind of, I don't know, maybe not, but
The
It's-
art
it's-
really
it's
resonates
true.
with
Yeah.
DJs.
And for the longest time, they've been kind of counter trading NFTs in general, right? So when
Yeah.
NFTs were sliding, Miladies are the ones that were doing well. And now that NFTs have kind of rebounded a bit, Miladies are lagging. But to me, they seem like the biggest value at the current moment. A lot of the other collections, I think, are well priced in their range. I still think there's opportunity in Azuki. That's much more of a speculative long-term play with them because it's
Yeah.
going to take time for things to roll out for them. I do like your pick in Neo Tokyo on the gaming side of things. They're probably the best connected when it comes to gaming in general.
sure.
And a lot of good alpha and information that comes through that community in general. And then everything else is really kind of, like I said, established a pretty good solid baseline floor as it is. And one of the other winners that we see is Quirkies. They tend to move in this kind of cult like move, surge up and then they'll fall back down. It all depends on what they kind of drive with a community kind of driven type cycle. So they're I tend to say that they're kind of like a short term burst more than anything, but they've been on a rally here as well over the last month. So. Any other ones we want to dig into, Banksy?
should we go to DGOTS? My favorite NFT.
My laptop is lagging a little bit on my side here, trying to get back to collections.
I'm just looking at the collection right now. Interesting. Azuki Doodles. What do you think about Doodles right now? Also down.
They're a hard read because, like, I mean, a lot of everything that we were waiting for has kind of happened, and they didn't see much of a rally off of that. But when you come to think of like what they're doing and the music videos that they're putting out and the artists that they have, and the short form that they have, and the animation, like everything that Doodles is doing is so well done that it's crazy to see them at the price they're at. I think they're a great value overall in the terms of comparing them to where Azuki is and Pudgies are, and in the scheme of projects really building out a business and scale. And their business is really built in the animation studio. So I think they're a long-term play. The price appreciation hasn't rallied as well as you would expect, given everything that they've kind of done. But at 1.5, it's pretty good. I think it can go lower, given the fact of where they have been in the range in the past.
Yeah, the
But
chart seems like they're about to go lower.
yeah, I do like them a lot, right? And they'll continue to. I don't know how many more songs they have to roll out, etc. But they're going to continue to build these partnerships and release content, and a lot of what they're doing is really well done, excellent quality, etc. So I think if you're betting on a long term play, Doodles is one that you can't go wrong with.
Right.
And there's really going to be those handful of like strong winners out of there, and like you label them out like it's really Azuki, Doodles, Pudgy, Apes. I think Miladies are still strong in there, but like that's the kind of the limited cycle on the upper end of it, right? There's a lot of other projects I think are safe plays. Kenpai Pandas, we talked about them being a value when they had taken such a hit from the kind of the meme token kind of. I don't even know if it was I don't even think it was a scam. I think it just got Ice Base kind of got played poorly in the sense of how that all rolled out. But they've rallied actually a little bit here recently. As low as 0.4, or up about 10%. So they're near their longer term floor. They could certainly go higher, and they're always another project that's always kind of building and getting the good relationships out there. So I don't mind them. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to get back to where they were, just given that kind of whole event situation.
Right. Brad, you think about buying an ape? Apes are kind of cheap right now, I feel like, with ETH going down with the next pullback. I think Brent's busy. Brent, you there?
I lost. Can you guys hear me?
You gonna try to buy an ape soon? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I would think about it if it consolidated for like several more months or something. For me, I want to buy an Azuki first. I want to buy a few V Friends and a few other projects I have like more conviction in. But I think about it if it consolidated for a while. But there's definitely some other stuff I want to buy before spending time on it.
Yeah, I think like sub 9 ETH would be a good entry point for apes, especially with ETH not at this price as well.
Can you go on like the weekly? Is there like that? Or they not have that? Can you just zoom out maybe? Just trying to see how much consolidation. Oh, that's a lot. That's what I'd be looking for anything that's looking for a bottom again is consolidation above that 10. For how long has it been above 10? Like to the left there, if you zoom out a little bit. Zoom out like right there since March around kind of when Bitcoin topped out, we've been right around above 10. So I mean that's pretty bullish to have consolidation like that. If we ever are gonna get another large move up, it would be after some consolidation. I would think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean their downside is about 8.5 when things were really bearish, but like I mean the community sentiment at that time was super low. So like I mean something would have to kind of go off for them to range back there. I think 10 is probably going to be a safe hold. You might get into the 9.5, as Danksy mentioned, but I think 10 is a good hold for apes, and then they kind of go through these periods as well where they get this surge up, but not a lot of movement. It has been fairly well consolidated, as with most of the markets. So most entries, I think, at this point are relatively safe from downside when it comes to NFTs.
Yeah. Should we look into some meme coins recently? What have you been looking at? I know Bren doesn't really trade a lot of meme coins.
I was just looking at DGods as our transition coin.
Right?
They're down again, kind of yo-yoing around this 40.
I think
to
40 is like
45 now.
their range.
I think so too. I think 40 is where they will probably settle and probably consolidate it for some time here. So again, it's such a wild move. I don't know where they go from here in terms of a collection and a community.
Did you see they do? Do you see they did the DGOT generator or whatever, where you just generate any?
They went into a 404 token.
No, I know. But did you see they tweeted like this generator where you could like it pretty much generates like a DGOT for you from like a random generator. They tweeted it. If you look, I don't know if Frank tweeted it, but you pretty much like people are posting like all these crazy DGOTs they generated.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they put it out after they did the token. I think you can probably find it on Twitter. I don't know if it's on here. But yeah, this is crazy too. The pain is crazy.
Dude, we were trying to do this for the beasts and we couldn't get a map to do it. I wonder what map they're using. There used to be like a platform where you could like input your location and see where your like NFT people are.
Yeah.
But they closed it down. And
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in Europe.
Yeah, but this is just like you can just drop it anywhere. Like I'll just.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have to connect. Oh, interesting. That's cool.
That's crazy though. Some guys in what is that island? That's crazy.
This is a beast. Bermuda.
Yeah.
I recognize this name.
Yeah. Cloak.
Oh, this is a cool platform. I wonder if they use.
That is cool, actually. That does look really good.
I wonder what they use. Let me see if I can find the generator.
Fuck, man. Who knows?
Fine. I can't look anymore. What do you think about Moonday?
Moonday's correcting right now. I mean, it's probably gonna get hit hard again if Bitcoin keeps moving down. But I mean, not a lot of consolidation up top. I think they probably will have another run, but who knows? Just depends if this turns into a 80-90% correction before that happens. We'll see. I think, you know.
This is crazy. It's probably gonna stay up here for a while. Popcat's actually been doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still looks like it's going to come down there now. Gosh.
This is a pretty crazy chart for Popcat.
Yeah. Right below there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think MOG, if it goes under 200 million or 300 million somehow here, yeah, definitely an amazing opportunity. Probably 10x from here. I don't know any like. I think a lot of stuff actually around 500 mil is probably a 5 to 10x from here, but like if it goes below 300, again, like it makes another low there. You know, it's gonna be a great opportunity. I'm definitely gonna be adding. I think MOG is kind of set up like really nicely to like, you know, like they have like phase banks, but like easily like if celebrities were to come into crypto like the right way, like actually like trading meme coins, I think Mog's going to be like a big thing for them to show. That still a lot of like influential people are going to like enter crypto through Mog because of just all the connections they built, and like in a real like kind of organic, more like non-corny way, I think. So.
What is this emoji? Just
It's
a
just
cat.
just a laugh cat, laugh at cat emoji. It's just adopted.
Interesting. What do you think about Doge? Doge was running up last week.
Yeah.
And then now it's back to sad mode.
I think he's testing the waters. I think it's I think he's smart too. He realizes when the market's coming down, it's just not going to do much. But I do think when everything's clearly bottom, Bitcoin near 100K, we'll start to see a lot more Elon stuff. And either way, I think it's just going to move up because of the crowd of crypto. People who were super big on it before, when they come back into crypto, it's just naturally going to be Doge shills again everywhere, which is bullish.
Yeah, we need more Doge shillers for sure.
Yeah, no, it's people like us who know it's a smart investment, but we're like, do I really want to be shilling Doge all day? No, I'm just kidding. I think it's a great investment.
No, there's like tons of
Great
people
buy.
Doge shilling anyways.
You're right.
There's already too many.
You don't really see too many of them on Twitter. There used to be like people that dedicate their whole account to Doge and be like people in the comments all the time.
Dude, look at this coin. This coin's crazy.
That's good, yeah. Yeah, it's another one that's, about a year old that's really exploding. And why it's pretty bullish. Obviously I think the this move down on Bitcoin in the last few days is probably going to delay stuff a little bit more, but the fact that we're seeing coins like this like pop off that have been around for a year, it's definitely a good sign that things are starting to get close to being the bottom.
What's the catalyst for this? Just people pumping it now?
It's a meme coin, but I mean, it's been around for a while, and I think Murad or whatever had it on his list. I think that's kind of what gave it a big pop. But I mean, there's been people die hard for a while.
20x.
Yeah, it's an ETH one, right? So like, there's like an old ETH meme. So yeah, a lot of them obviously got hit hard for a long time. You see that consolidation it was like an 80% correction or something. Yeah, just insane.
Yeah, it's probably the high point right here. I don't think it's gonna move any further.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against it, dude. Crazy. It's not necessarily my vibe, but like the definitely crazy cool community. Who knows? Obviously, it's a lot of headwind because of what's going on with the majors, but.
Have you been looking at any Polymarket stuff?
Not the last few days. I've been glancing every few days. I think I'm going to start sprinkling in some like quote unquote low risk bets to try to get some volume and trades in. I do think I doubt that. I think there's a very high likelihood they're going to do like airdrop, and I find it very unlikely that they've already taken a snapshot. I think they want to distribute the token more. Right now, all of the coins would go to that fucking guy that, the top few people. So right. I think over the next year, it's probably going to be the, up there with like the, maybe not blast, but like a lot of the big airdrops of the past. And I think a lot of people aren't thinking about it now, but, a lot of people will be on it here soon. Farming the airdrop. It's fairly easy to get a lot of volume too.
Have you seen this? This is the new sports UI.
It looks pretty clean.
Is that props?
Oh. I got prop bets.
It's like futures, basically.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to add more bets into this with the new UI.
I'm sure. Soon? Oh, ones that are coming out soon. Where's that?
starting soon.
F1.
That's crazy.
Israel military. Yeah, there's gonna be. It's probably gonna be dominated by sports and the election. I'm sure.
I feel like there should be movement on the Super Bowl champion.
Oh, there is. Look at this. All of them positive. How do I do it?
I hesitate on the Chiefs right now unless they can pick up another offensive weapon.
Really? Oh yeah, because the guy got hurt. Who got hurt?
Yeah, their top receiver. They're down two big receivers. You say that, but like I mean, it is the Chiefs, and they know how to get the
I'm
job
gonna
done.
switch the pick'ems. They're gonna lose to the Saints for sure.
I think that's possible. I mean, they really struggled this week.
Yeah. What?
I also
Dude, I'm
want to
telling you, this
see
bet is probably the most positive EV bet ever.
where's the tight end bet here. I think that one is probably switching right now. Travis Kelce, I think, has a really good opportunity on that one right now.
Where is
Given the state of the KC offense and the fact that
Here.
they really need him to kick into gear. So
Travis Kelce? I mean, what's the other here?
other is
There's like no volume on this as well.
yeah, that's the hard bit. Other is Brock Bowers. Really is a lot of it. No one's really standing out at tight end as well. Let's see. They also don't have the Eagles tight end in here as well. I think Richard Sherman's better. So, you know, there are a couple tight ends in other that can play, but I like Kelsey at 12% there. I think that's going to adjust a bit.
Get some. Rose, you should get on Polymarket, actually. Let me give you
Right?
my referral code.
Send it my way.
I'm pretty sure there isn't a referral code, but you should get
come
on
on.
it anyways. You can
He
put
hasn't,
in
I thought you placed bets already. No,
what?
I thought he already. Weren't you already in some bets, Rose? I thought you already were.
No, there's definitely been a few that I have looked at, but I have not placed any specific bets.
Gotcha.
Super Bowl champion. I mean, a lot on the sports side of things where I have more knowledge is where I would look at it.
For sure.
The Adams trade, I think that's a pretty easy yes. I think it's all kind of labeled out that way at the moment. Chris McCaffrey playing week 6. There's some weird ones in here, but
I thought he was gonna play. That's what it seems like.
well, no, for week 6.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean he's not going to play until late season, I think, at this point.
We don't even need him.
49ers seem to get the job done.
Yeah,
Defense
Brock Purdy's
has
the
got a lot of
golden
injuries
boy.
though.
He's the golden child.
Yeah. Not in the fantasy circles.
I mean, I feel like running backs are like pretty. They don't really do like the floor is so high for running backs. This is gonna be a good
NBA
bet.
champion.
What is that one
Oh,
now?
yeah, same.
I'm sorry.
NBA champion. NBA.
Yeah,
champion.
NBA champion. I'm a bigger NBA fan than NFL fan. So
You notice how they changed the volume on Polymarket? They put like the ball next to it, 3-2-2. It used to just say 3-2-2-2.
oh, interesting.
I don't know. I think it's the
What
same
is
thing.
Knicks
right?
bet? Why does Knicks have so much volume on this?
Is that means I think that's the amount of volume that's gone through it, not how much money is in it right now. It used to show you how much money was in it right then.
Really? It's
I
not.
think so. Maybe not. Maybe it was always volume, and I just thought it was. Did they ever determine that person was a female or a male? The Chinese thing that we were looking at last week.
Let me see.
Looks like it's settled. What was the person? What was their name?
Dude, I have no clue.
Chinese. Well, it was Chinese, right?
Yeah, but I can't read Chinese. Where is this? Was it last week we looked at it? Yeah.
I can't even remember like what. I can't even find it. Deform. Okay, I'm not going to read that.
It had to be last week because we looked at it last week.
Yeah, no, it was. They must have settled the bet. I don't know why
I
they
think you
delete
look it
bets
up.
like
I
that.
think you can look it up here. Boy.
I'm looking at like Chinese influencer, like.
Oh, this one. This one's still here. This one.
Oh wait, how did we not find that last time?
I don't know.
Try to find the. We don't even know what to look up now. Yeah, no, that's weird.
What was it?
I can't Google it. Like, I can't find it on Google. Chinese influencer, male or female. Like I can't.
Dude, I can't find it. Maybe they just canceled it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that big of a pressing issue, really. I guess.
I'm
Doesn't really
pretty
matter.
invested in it.
Yeah, I think there's more important things going on.
Let's pull back to the
Like WNBA.
WNBA.
I'm going with the Lynx for sure. Strong team this year.
The Lynx? No way, really?
I have no clue.
Do you watch WNBA?
Hell no, never watched the WNBA. I'm sure Caitlin Clark. I heard it's pretty exciting lately, but no, I have never.
She's out already, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Is it the playoffs? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's playoffs. But she's like rookie of the year now.
So they play on like a different, like the opposite schedule of the NBA.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, because NBA is just about to start, right? Or it just is starting, so that's weird. I guess that gives them more of an opportunity to get viewers.
Yeah, people are just like out craving any amount of basketball, and they're watching
Exactly.
NBA.
Yeah. I'm sure that's probably like record year for viewership, I imagine.
I think Nuggets here is undervalued for sure.
Do you like basketball or football more?
Basketball for sure.
Really? Oh, that's right. You play something. Didn't you? How's your ankle doing over there?
I
What's your
tried
year
jumping on
ankle?
it yesterday, and now it's sore. So no basketball for me yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, take care of that shit.
I think Nuggets here pretty undervalued. Knicks pretty undervalued. I think Knicks is a pretty strong team this year. And I'm always gonna bet on the Warriors, even though they're really shitty this year. They're kind of shitty this year. Where are the Mavs? The Mavs might do well this year.
It's crazy that the Celtics have the highest odds, but like their lowest volume is like volume.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably too high. This 22% is too high, I think.
For sure,
That's
it's
why.
not efficient. It's not efficient yet. It's
Right.
Out of whack. Yeah, there's not that much money on there at all yet. This one's pawn market's so new.
Yeah, there's not enough volume.
I'm just trying to think of like the best way to farm volume with like the lowest risk of like losing money.
I got you. Just put all your money in Washington Wizards not winning.
But the thing, but the thing is, I'm trying to get like I'm trying to farm volume in bets, right? Like, and that's hard because like the ones that are quick. I guess the strategy would just be go in on like the ones that are already at like 99.9 and just get.
Or the ones that are gonna end soon.
Exactly, and just try to farm volume. But I'm sure they're going to do their jobs some way where like I'm just trying to think how it will be based on not just volume but total bets and a bunch of stuff. I would think that the time, how long your account's been going, like your first bet and all that stuff would probably matter. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too crazy on there besides the sports stuff.
Honestly, like any of these sports ones, like game 2 for baseball, are pretty good for volume if you want to farm it.
For sure.
Because they end the day and then you just like watch the score and shit.
Yeah, but yeah.
But
I
then you have
guess
to
it's
watch
still-
baseball.
It's still a wild card, so like it's probably like pretty high odds for like one side, right?
No, but you do it at like the 8th inning.
Oh, you're right. While the game's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably is the meta.
Yeah.
Just
Are you guys baseball fans? I like barely watch any. I like haven't watched any baseball in years.
Same.
That would be the most brutal. You just have to watch baseball for farming polymarket.
No.
No thanks. No thanks.
Going to the games are fun. Just watching on TV is not that fun.
Yeah. What will Israel target in Iran? That's a devious bet.
Oil and gas, nuclear. Nuclear is kind of. I think nuclear is kind of undervalued here because they blew up a lot of their nuclear, like all their defense at
Yeah.
nuclear sites.
So it's like they've already done something like that.
Yeah, so like, it's just like weakening the sites for the next attack.
Yeah.
What is Tehran in general? Oh, like the city? That's kind of crazy. When is this? Between October 4th. So in like 2 days. I don't think they're going to do anything in 2 days.
So if nothing happens and it goes 50-50 or what?
Nothing happens, probably goes to no.
Where's the no? Oh, on the no side. I gotcha.
Yeah, that's probably the risk here, is that like they just don't do anything. Do you guys watch the VP debate yesterday?
No.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. What else? What else is good? Seems like it's kind of quiet on the poly market side, though.
Yeah, I think this is probably the time to like lock in if you're gonna find the airdrop. Or just, yeah. It's probably the easiest way to find volume right now. And everybody starts doing it. All it's gonna take is a few more announcements by them, like talking about the token. Somebody to like get hype around it. I'm surprised more people don't trade on it already. I feel like a lot of people are still opting to like just go to like the actual casino or just do normal sports betting, like Web2 sports betting. I bet Twitter will like integrate it more. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, how is this at 12%? That's the real question.
Because it's like actually really popular. It's like not even like a meme coin thing. At first, it was like, okay, it's like sounds like a meme, like, but the word mod is like very popular in pop culture right now. Like the whole fucking brain rot thing, like people are doing, it's just like this, like the way that people talk. It's like satire. They like say it to be like stupid, but like it's like a really big thing on like social media right now. The word mod.
Just in general, like as a meme.
Just a word, not even a meme. It's like mogging somebody. Like people say it to like because it sounds corny. Like it's hard to explain. It's like a satirical thing people are doing with like. But yeah, that's probably why. And I mean, if somebody close to Trump is like,
Oh, this one. What about this one for you?
That's as like lottery ticket as it gets. I feel like how are you going to predict a mega break to happen? Is just insane. I mean, great 10x bet if you do get it. But
8 or greater.
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Not much of a seismologist myself, so
Yeah, dude, you gotta really touch grass to figure this out.
I need to touch rock. I need to touch
Touch dirt.
like your fault line. So
You gotta stick your whole hand in the fault line. To figure it out.
yeah, during an earthquake. Imagine.
You gotta be like elbow deep.
Imagine you're just chilling at the San Andreas Fault and like an 8.0 quake just goes off.
I feel like everyone would know though. Everyone would know instantly if an 8.0 earthquake comes out.
There hasn't been one at 8.0 since this year.
There hasn't been one since Japan that 1 year.
There's been a lot though this year, actually. Like not a lot, but there's a good amount of the ones over 5 right there.
Yeah, but from 6.6 to 8 is like 100x magnitude, 100x more energy or something. There's a 7 in Russia.
Kamchatsky. No, yeah, it's probably a good bet to go on the other side. No,
To go on
I'd
no.
almost be okay with like I don't know losing that one. It's like, what are the chances that a fucking 8.08 earthquake's just gonna randomly happen this month? Probably pretty low. But you lose everything if you're wrong. So
Yeah.
I feel like the only way to make it in sports betting is like be very picky, like with your shit, and like have a I don't know, like have a certain type of bet that you trade that you take, and like whenever you see it, like take those very high, only high probability ones. But I'm sure there's plenty of people that just get a bunch of big wins and just never go down. Not a lot, but I'm sure there's people that do it.
Yeah, the Japan one was a 9.
So you're telling me there's only been like 1/8 in like the last like 30 years?
There has been
One,
one.
two, 3.
There has been
One in the last 20 years, or 2 in the
Yeah.
last 20 years.
Japan was the last 1/8. Bro, I think you just farmed this. You get like what? You get like 10% every time.
The thing is, I think you could actually farm volume by going in and out a bunch of times too.
Dude, you get
Now that you think
10%
about it.
every month, basically, on this. You get like 8% every month. This could be the move, actually. There's no way. Like, look at these numbers. Like the last one.
Usually, what happens though is when there's a bet like that, and then it goes like a lock for like 2 or 3 months, then it starts to get priced in.
Oh yeah,
At,
obviously,
it'll
but
be
like, I don't think anyone has like looked at it to this depth.
you're right. Yeah, it's crazy. I
Going
think
out for free on our Twitter Spaces.
couldn't you farm volume technically like by buying, selling a bunch of times the same money? Like
Oh.
within minutes. Like I'm saying, like I could buy yes on Indonesia, sell it, buy yes, sell it, buy yes, sell it, and it would like reflect on your volume.
I think it's one, who knows what they're tracking, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's probably gonna be more than volume.
Interesting. So 11 was 9. I mean, there's a bunch of them. It's not like this one happened twice in 2 years.
Yeah. Indonesia.
Let me see. Where's ChatGPT here? Where's ChatGPT when you need it? Once or twice a year. What? No way.
Yeah, that's wrong.
On average, Earthquakes this magic acquire once or twice per year.
Not according to that. Maybe in the middle of the ocean or something.
Well, yeah, it's mostly by the ocean.
So that's probably it. Yeah, I could see that. You should never feel.
50 years, 100 to 120 earthquakes. Doesn't look too good.
Yeah.
Are people buying this shit? No.
Do we want to wrap it up? I need to get some food.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into this more, and then we'll figure something out.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, appreciate you guys. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. I posted the links to the Bren's and Bossman's Telegram channel in the comments below. So if you want to join them, they have some pretty good alpha. I think they have like 25,000 now.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
right.
at 24, creeping up 24, something like that.
Yeah. So you guys post some pretty good alpha on there, and then posted the Bridgely Labs how to join us, Discord, Telegram stuff, also in the comments. Yeah, next time, same time next week, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Run it back next week.
Perfect. See you guys. Take care.
That's good.
Awesome.
Take care,
Appreciate you guys. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.